But a lot of the people that start struggling with their weight are really they probably have somewhere in their genetic makeup the gene for type 2 diabetes, and they're starting to struggle with their weight because of that.
But is that the same thing as like women in our age group? Like, as your hormones plummet,
Right.
Then you do, like, I've said this before, like I went and had a physical and I gained a little bit of weight. And she was like, well, you don't have as many hormones. You're probably a little insulin resistant. You need to get your cortisol in shape.
Yes.
And then you got to get more sleep and reduce your stress and eat all your things. And I'm like, I eat well, I work out, I lift weights, I sleep 7 to 8 hours. And like, what the F do you guys want from me?
Right.
Do you find that like as we age, it's a different program, or is it all the same program?
No. I think it changes as we get older. And I mean, I've worked with so many wonderful dietitians, and I've said, you guys need to write a manual and tell us, like in your 20s, you want to have 2 cheeseburgers and a milkshake. You'll burn that off and you'll stay slim.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do it. Just go do it.
Right, like cut it down to 1 cheeseburger. And then, I mean, I feel like here I am, I just turned 57, and it's
in your 50s, you get a cracker. There you go.
Welcome to Three Little Fishes. We're 3 sisters who grew up in the Midwest together, but have since spread across the country. I live in Los Angeles.
I'm in Nashville.
And I live in Philadelphia. We are all married with children, have all had careers, but now we stay at home with our families.
Join us as we share secrets and stories about being women, wives, and mothers.
We welcome you to laugh along, learn something new, reach out, and join our conversation.
So let's jump in.
What's up, fishes?
What's up, fishes?
What's up? Good to see you.
You guys, I just saw in the news, Justin Timberlake is suing the Sag Harbor police, like in Long Island, New York,
For what?
Well, he got arrested for a DUI last year, and he does not want the footage to come out. So he's trying to block it from coming out because it says it will cause severe damage. So I'm intrigued by this because I'm like,
me too.
What's on there?
Yeah. What were you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this whole thing, I mean, I don't know about the lawsuit, but like, Justin, what are you doing? You're in the Hamptons. You're having a big old time. I understand. Okay, maybe you had too many. Why would you get in your car? Hire a car. Like, there's so many services. You're a gazillionaire.
That was
you could afford to get a taxi.
Yes.
Right.
Well, my annoyance is that just because you're rich or superstar and you're in the public eye, you made a mistake, and that is public. That's anybody like that's like if that was me that had gotten arrested, they could release the footage. I don't have any say. Like, you're not above the law. You're not above the rules. I'm sorry that you're going to feel embarrassed by it, but I wish you would just own it and make better choices. I'm with you. Like, get a car.
Let's make it a teaching moment.
Like, I'm tired of all these people who have a lot of privilege and money feel like they don't have to follow the rules. Like, I have to follow the rules. Like,
we all
so do you. Yeah, like it's totally ridiculous, and I'm like, I'm disappointed to hear this.
We're over it.
Over the entitlement. Make better choices. Okay, you guys, on today's pod, we're going to be talking about what would you do? We have our friend and nurse practitioner back visiting as a special guest, and what's for dinner. But before we get into it, I want to please remind you to rate, review, and invite your favorite fishes to jump in and join the conversation.
Log in. Hit that login button. All it is signing up for the newsletter. It's amazing, and it costs you nothing. So do it. All right, girls, the first segment's what would you do, right?
What would you do?
Okay.
What would you do?
So what would you do? We had one of our children left a couple of their lizards here at the house, and we have been taking care of them. And like week I went in and the bearded dragon did not look good. So I call the child. I'm like, this dragon does not look good. I'm
Well, you
very
said
upset.
it's like
Its
mane was
gills were like
black,
black,
right?
and it's not
Yeah.
supposed to be black. So we
But
worked through.
you've been fretting about this bearded dragon for like days, right? Like you've been worried
Yes.
about it. Like you've been like, it's not looking good. This is on my watch. I have this like reptile to take care of.
There's actually nothing worse than losing a pet unless you're pet sitting and you lose someone else's pet.
Was it
So at
like
the
your
end of the
house
day,
stuff over
that
like
it died.
stressed it?
I have no idea.
All the
We have no
hammering.
idea.
Like it's
I
like
mean, I found a couple of stink bugs in there. I know it's been stressed with all the hammering and
there were
construction.
bugs in there?
I don't
Ew.
know how stink bugs got into it because it's got this mesh thing over the top of it.
That's nasty.
It's nasty. So
Oh.
anyway, it died. And I was
I'm so sorry.
crushed because, it's probably like 2 feet
Yeah.
long. I mean, it's not a little tiny thing.
No,
So
it's
she's
not.
upset. I'm upset. What do I do? So I end up looking up online, like, how do you dispose of a bearded dragon? I don't want to spend money to get it cremated. I'm not putting it in my fire pit. Like, that is a hard no for me.
Ew.
So anyway, my husband and I talked about it, and I was like, okay, I think we should bury it. So we found a spot in the yard that I know is going to bloom very pretty. And he was on a
Aw.
call, and I started digging this hole. And I don't know if you've ever dug a hole, but digging a hole is actually shockingly hard.
Yeah.
And so he
Yeah, it
came
is.
out and he finished digging the hole. We dug like pretty far down, like maybe
You
2.5,
have to-
3 feet. And we covered
There
it
are
up and we put
rules,
it in there.
with
Well,
it.
I didn't get into the rules, but I didn't have a shoebox, which is really what I wanted. I don't know why I don't have a shoebox. So I ended up putting in
Yeah.
a zip top, and I put the body
Ew.
in the hole, and we covered it up. And every day I keep looking like, is it going to get dug up? Like, what's going to happen? But so far it hasn't gotten dug up. But I don't know. What would you guys do? Like, how do people dispose of their bearded dragons when they die? I want to
I've
hear.
never
Well,
had one.
I don't
But-
think I'll ever have one. I draw a line at reptiles. But I'm sorry for your loss.
I mean, it was sad.
I mean, we have a gecko, and I have to tell you, I think it's on its way out. I have to say,
Kevin, no.
It
no,
has a-
Kevin.
it has a large bump on its back, and the other day it ran into the rock and
Cancer.
and it started bleeding, and I was like, oh,
Oh,
my gosh,
gosh.
is this gonna bleed out here on my should I bandage this like gecko?
You probably should like prep your son that you don't know.
Well,
But,
I
like,
told my
can you-
husband, I kept watching it, and I kind of did put some pressure on it as much as he would tolerate, because they're not like
First aid for the gecko.
from Dr. K. From Dr. K.
But I told my husband later that night, I said, Peter, please, will you like go check on him? And if he's dead, let me know. And he never like told me he was dead. So I guess he made it through the night. But I did think he was going to die.
So what would you do? What would you do if you were in Linda's situation? And when Kevin goes, what are you going to do? Are you going to also just bury it in your yard? Can you do that? Like, isn't that against the law?
Well, I mean, a gecko's a lot smaller. So
Yeah, gecko's
I don't
little.
know if it should go like in our trash or if we should bury it. I mean, I can bury it here in Pennsylvania because I did look it up. Because I was like, but we do have a dog too, and she has a super nose. So I'm just worried,
Yeah.
like, if we did bury it, like that would be the worst for her to dig it up. I mean, I'm just imagining the whole thing. So Linda, I feel for you. I mean, I think that's a tough
It actually
situation.
was very traumatic and not fun.
Yeah, I know. I feel sad for you guys.
And I understand not wanting to to spend a lot of money. Like, was the vet just a lot of money to have it cremated?
I actually didn't really look into it. I mean, I did kind of like look.
Seriously, Nancy?
I did kind of like look a little and just see like what's the range. It can be $75 to $150 to get a lizard cremated.
Yeah, I think you
not
did
to
the
be
right. I think you
heartless,
did the
but-
right thing.
I mean, maybe she would want the ashes. And I just know in Los Angeles, you cannot bury animals in your backyard. So I like am a rule follower, and I would like not be able to like break the law like that.
I get it.
I'm too.
And we can here in Tennessee, so
we can in Pennsylvania too. So.
I mean,
okay. So what would everybody else do? Are you burying it yourself? Are you, cremating it? Are you taking it to the vet? What would you do?
Yeah.
Kathy, you think Millie would dig up your gecko? Any
Very possible, for sure. So we also had an interesting thing happen with our dog too, and it makes me ask you, like, what would you do? So we have our dog, Millie, who doesn't want to get out of the puppy stage. She's
only one, right? Or is she two?
She's going to be two in April.
She's going to be two. Okay.
But she acts like she's 6 months old, and she eats everything. And like I have pods in my house that keep her away from like our shoes and things, because I'm like, no, you're not going to eat these $200 pair of shoes or whatever.
Like a pod? You mean like invisible fence pods?
Where like an invisible fence.
Not like,
So she doesn't come near stuff that I have the pods out. But over the weekend, we went to a lacrosse game for my son, and we had to gear up because it was cold, and we had blankets, and I threw in my cashmere like poncho cape, because I was like, it's getting a little bit warmer, and I was like, maybe I'll be able to wear the poncho, not have my coat. And I wasn't even going to bring it, but I brought it anyway, and we came home. I didn't wear it. I threw it on our kitchen table along with the blanket, and sure enough, the next morning, my husband comes down. I'm actually working out in the basement. And I was like, what are you doing down here? He's like, well, I wanted to tell you something. I'm like, what?
Dun, dun.
I was like, what?
Is like, somebody sick? Like, what is it? Like,
no, it's like, what happened? Did someone die? He's like, no, but you're going to be mad because Millie ate your cape. Your cashmere cape and our blanket. She took both of those items from the table,
off the table,
took them
extra bad,
outside, and started eating them. And he showed me my cashmere wrap has holes like all in it, and I was just like, oh my god, that dog has caused me so much anxiety. And
I mean, I don't know how you train that out of them.
I don't know. If you know, please let me know. But
are you worried that she gonna get like stuck, like something stuck in there, like all that fabric?
Because yesterday I actually had to work, and I came home, and there was a big. This is gross, but a big pile of throw up on her bed, which was lovely. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you do not have a blockage, do you? That was like my first thought. Like, my cashmere is like in your belly and you can't get rid of it. And I went there. But so Linda told me you should put some oil on her food at night to help her kind of maybe help pass whatever's in there.
Get out of here. You're saying that oil is going to help pass?
I don't know.
Like
I'm desperate.
The cashmere?
I mean, intellectually, it seems like it would work. I don't know.
Oh my god!
Okay.
Well, I have to say, I did watch her this morning, and I think things are fine. But I don't know.
So what would you do?
She is naughty.
What would you do? Would you put oil in your animal's food and help that it like lubes it up so it like moves through the intestines?
What would you do?
What would you do?
What would you do? Upset with her. I scolded her. I wanted to do more than that, but I was like,
well, you know what? Maybe it's not totally her fault because she's oral and you're a dentist. So maybe it's a little nod to you that she's extra like oral fixated.
No, that would drive me crazy. Because you feel like you can't
see,
leave anything out. Like nothing is safe.
hell,
So that's a no.
no.
All right. Well,
You
what
wouldn't
would
be
you do?
laughing if it was yours.
I 1000% would not, but I would love to hear. Like, what would you all do with these like situations?
Coco would never act naughty.
No, she's really a princess. She's amazing. She actually is really good. Her only flaw is she likes to lick.
Please.
She's pretty good. I know.
Whatever.
I have one thing, but I have a cat, Loki, who really is the opposite and super naughty. So can I have one pet that like behaves itself? Let's move on. So today we have a special guest with us, our nurse practitioner friend, Lori Gudat, and she has come to visit to talk to us about glucose monitors for the non-diabetic.
You know, we talk a lot about health and nutrition and weight and aging and things like that, because this is when I'm out with my girlfriends, we're sharing ideas about what's working, what's not working. So we thought we would bring Lori back to discuss this tool that is just now kind of getting traction for the non-diabetic. I don't think it's any lightning bolt, like life-changing thing, but it could be a really important tool in your arsenal for good health. So let's listen in.
Well, we would like to welcome back our friend and nurse practitioner, Lori Gudat. She is a nurse practitioner, but she specializes in diabetes. And our last conversations with Lori were around the GLP-1s, how they were used for weight loss. Lori is like a sister to us, and we're just trying to figure it all out. So today, we'd like to talk to Lori about the continuous glucose monitor, which is abbreviated CGM. And we want to know how this can be used to help with weight loss. So please welcome Lori.
Hi, Lori.
Hi, everyone.
We're so happy to see you.
Good to see you guys too.
So tell us, Lori, how is the CGM monitor going to help us?
So the CGM, first came on the market for our type 2 diabetes population because it was a better way to really closely monitor their blood sugars all the time. But when I still worked in the clinic, it came out as a tool that we would put patients on for 3 days, similar to like a cardiac monitor. And then we would download the results and we'd be able to see when they were in control and when they weren't. And that allowed us to make tweaks to medication as well as diet. So that was, early like 2004. That was then. So then as time went on, I think it just got to the point where the monitors now you can buy over the counter, and people that are kind of in the arena of trying to lose weight started using them, and it's an effective tool for that as well.
Right.
Yeah. So I want to back up just a little bit because I feel like for people who don't know how diabetes work and how the monitor works, explain that first.
Sure.
And then can you explain how we went from that to moving into using it for diet? I feel like we've jumped from like A to D. Let's kind of give some history of it.
Sure. So this continuous sensor, there's 3 parts to it. There's a sensor, and it's like a small copper wire that you insert it into either like the back of your arm or your stomach area. And then it's got a receiver built into it, or a transmitter, excuse me. So on that little copper wire, it's like it will cause an electrical current and it'll give a number reading, and it's your glucose reading in the interstitial fluid that's right there below your your stomach area. So then that gets transmitted to your phone, and so you're able to see the number.
So is there a needle attached to the monitor?
There's an introducer needle, so it introduces that copper guide wire down into your like fat tissue, and then it comes out, it retracts, and just that little flexible wire stays into your skin. You can wear it up to 15 days.
Now, does it hurt to put on?
No, I mean, I don't think it does. Your stomach really doesn't have a lot of nerve endings, so that's why we always, say give injections.
Now, a lay person can put this on?
Yeah, oh, yes. Yeah. It's very easy. And then my sister wears hers for her diabetes on the back of her arm. And that's the newest thing, is they're encouraging people to wear it more on the back of their arm.
Why the back of the arm?
I think just because they feel that it doesn't get bumped around as much or jostled, and that, it's just like in a safer spot. Yeah.
So the glucose works, the monitor works in conjunction with their smartphone and their pump, and the pump is attached to them as well, and it just gives them more or less insulin as needed.
For an insulin pump, yes, exactly. So
can I ask? So
sure.
So you can get them over the counter, so you don't need a script.
Correct.
So was a doctor or healthcare practitioner saying, "Hey, go get this monitor and start tracking it," or did patients and people start doing this on their own?
No, I think what happened was it was the research trials that first happened, in some of the weight loss centers, and then they saw benefit from it. So it got FDA approved to be over the counter and, available for patients without diabetes, because there are differences in those continuous sensors. You have to get a prescription from your doctor to get one for diabetes, whereas you don't if you're just monitoring it for weight loss.
So how come you need one for diabetes but not for weight loss?
So the one that you use for diabetes has alarms built into it and lets you know when your blood sugar is getting too high and when you're having a hypoglycemia, like a low reaction. Because that can get dangerous for our patients, with type 1 and even some of our type 2s. Whereas if you're just using it for weight loss, it doesn't have that function. That functionality is not built into it.
But it's tracking those big spikes, right?
It just lets you know when you're going above your target range, but you don't really know an exact number. It just says you're going above 180 or 200 or whatever it's set at.
So what is the big deal about that? Like, who cares if you have a spike in glucose?
Sure. So, moving into a new job as I am, we use the continuous glucose sensor with the insulin pump. They're paired together. That's how they work together. But I wanted to get more familiar. I've worn sensors before, but I put one on a couple weeks ago and wore it for 4 days. So what I noticed is, depending on how much I ate at dinner time and what like the composition of food was, I could watch my blood sugars go a little bit higher after the meal. So then it's just kind of like the psychology changes, because you think, if I ate like a chicken breast and vegetables, my blood sugar won't go as high. And you want to see good numbers. Like, we're all looped into that. We want immediate good feedback that we're doing a good job. And it provides it because it's right there on your phone, and it tells you like what's your percentage of time in range, which means your blood sugars, how often are they in this 80 to 140, range, which is a good controlled range.
So if somebody does go off the rails a little bit, like you were on vacation and maybe eating some more sweets or whatever that you normally do.
Yes.
Pina coladas.
Did you notice it took a long time to like get those numbers back to normal? Or
well, for me it was interesting because the one night I think I kind of was just tired after dinner, and I sat on the couch and my blood sugars were higher. So I purposely the next night walked like 10 laps inside my house, and my blood sugars never went as high. And I thought there really is something to that, like getting your cells awake and active. But, you just start to take more accountability for your health when you've got a monitor giving you feedback every 15 minutes, what your blood sugar's doing.
So then how did we jump from this was a diabetes tool to weight loss?
Well, I think because what's happening is a lot of the people that are using it in the weight loss arena probably have pre-diabetes and just don't know it yet, or they have it and they're not at the point where they're going to be diagnosed and take medicine for it, but they could still do a lot with diet and exercise. So if they wear it and they can kind of see instant feedback on if I make healthy food choices, my blood sugars stay more stable. What happens is when your blood sugars go higher after meals, if your body doesn't utilize that sugar, it stores it as fat. And that's why you gain more and more weight. It's like they're not even eating as much. You would think, and that's the whole problem with insulin resistance and then, the weight that's related to it. So the new, like the continuous glucose monitors that are over the counter, they're actually kind of touted as good for metabolic health because they're helping you understand how your body metabolically is reacting to different foods and to like increased levels of activity.
So are these good for people that are really like overweight, like obese, or are they good for people that need to lose like 10 pounds? Like, is there?
I don't know that there's really a delineation between people that are just overweight versus people that are obese. I mean, I kind of looked into it to research it on my own just to see, and they actually said food journaling is still like the number one way to hold people accountable and to, lose the weight. But
Yeah.
I think different people react differently. Like I've actually been food journaling a little bit myself just to kind of see like how many
yeah,
calories I'm eating.
right,
Like if
right,
I saw this the CGM and saw that, oh my gosh, after I ate that, I spiked way high. I
right.
think that would be very meaningful to me.
Yeah,
Like
I
I don't think you realize what you're doing when you're eating these things. You don't think about it.
I agree because I've done Weight Watchers in the past. And, as long as I was writing it down, going in and weighing every week, I lost weight, and like our teacher in Weight Watchers would say, if you bite it, you write it. So you keep track of all of
That's
that.
actually a good saying.
If you bite it, you write it.
Right.
So I guess for me, what I am like getting like stuck on is how are people deciding to go buy these glucose monitors that are not diabetic? And then the flip side of that, all the research so far has been on the diabetic body, which is different
Yes.
than a non-diabetic body, right? So
Right. But a lot of the people that start struggling with their weight are really they probably have somewhere in their genetic makeup the gene for type 2 diabetes, and they're starting to struggle with their
Oh.
weight because of that.
But is that the same thing as like women in our age group? Like, as your hormones plummet,
Right.
then you do like, I've said this before, like I went and had a physical and I've gained a little bit of weight. And she was like, well, you don't have as many hormones. You're probably a little insulin resistant. You need to
Right.
get your cortisol under, in shape.
Yes.
And then you got to
Yes.
get more sleep and reduce your stress and eat all your thing. And I'm like, I eat well, I work out, I lift weights, I sleep 7 to 8 hours. And like, what the F do you guys want from me? And what I'm kind of wondering is it like I need to be eating different things as I age or eating less as I age? Because what I'm doing now is not what I did in my 20s and 30s and even 40s.
Right.
Do you
right.
find that like as we age, it's a different program, or is it all the same program?
No. I think it changes as we get older. And I mean, I've worked with so many wonderful dietitians, and I've said, you guys need to write a manual and tell us, like in your 20s, you want to have 2 cheeseburgers and a milkshake, you'll burn that off and you'll stay slim.
Yeah, let's do
do
it.
it. Don't switch just go do it.
Right, like cut it down to 1 cheeseburger. And then, I mean, I feel like here I am, I just turned 57, and
In
it's
your
like,
50s, you get a cracker.
yeah, I think you have to start, I think, developing tastes for really healthy foods because they don't, I mean, I know the dietitians are probably giggling because like they knew it all along. Like you
Yeah.
actually feel fuller with healthy foods and your blood sugars don't spike. And so your blood sugars stay stable, metabolism stays stable, insulin resistance goes down. I mean, it's just easier to maintain the weight.
Yeah.
But what if you're doing
That's-
all of that? Like, I don't eat processed foods very often.
Right.
And still, you know what I mean? So then I'm kind of like, so the continuous glucose monitor is one tool, but then
Right.
there's also these like fancy medical scales that sort of scan your body and tell you like all the things.
It's like we've hit the Jetsons or something. Like
Amazing. And then there's like these other tools like Lumen where you blow into that and
Right.
it measures different.
Yeah, it's
I
your
mean, I
carbon
don't-
dioxide. And so it's telling you then like what your next meal should be. I don't, I kind of read up on that a little bit too. And I thought it kind of, and my older son, his girlfriend's a dietitian at one of the big hospitals here in town. And I asked her last night, have you heard of this Lumen? Because she works with bariatrics. She's working with,
Right.
and she said, no, I've never heard of that. And she said, I'm going to go take it back to our dietitian so we can. I said, yeah, it's a thing. Like you blow into this
is the thing.
mouthpiece.
We're always looking for like, what's the answer?
A quick fix. They want the quick
fix. It's not even a quick fix. It's more like, what is the answer to successfully navigate this like last, third of life?
Right. Well, it's almost like the customer demand is like outpacing the research, right?
Yes, so I do think there's a lot of that. Yeah.
You like hear these like, Kathy, I know you're really excited about possibly these monitors for just the everyday person. And I'm like, I don't know what I think about that. And I don't want to be stressed out anymore to have to like use this tool to feel guilty that, I'm going to eat this cheeseburger because it's 11:30 at night and I just got done with the soccer game that went on in like double overtime, like, kicks, and I didn't get a chance to have dinner.
Right.
I don't want to feel bad that I need a cheeseburger.
Yeah, I get you. I get that. But I think that people in general don't realize what they're eating and what it does to your body. They're oblivious. And I think I was one of those people. Like, I don't think I realized, oh my gosh, I have a sweet tooth and I would eat a lot of sweets. Well, I didn't really care. And now that I'm in my 50s, I am starting to care. Like, what's going on here?
Hence why you're like, yes, Kirsten, throw out all the food in the pantry. That's totally fine.
So, Lori, if you wear one of these continuous glucose monitors and you do it for a couple of weeks and you're just trying to figure out like how your body reacts, because my body could react to something differently than your body, right? I mean, is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, absolutely.
So if you did that for like the 15 days and you really managed like how you're eating and you didn't really try and change your diet too much, you just really were trying to figure out like how you react. Right. What would that tell me? Like, is there anything so if our blood sugar rises and we don't burn it off with exercise, then it stays in our body as fat.
Yes. You start
so if we do this monitor, we do our life, then we can figure out like, yeah, my body doesn't like pretzels. Don't eat pretzels.
Exactly.
Or my body doesn't like it when I eat apples.
I mean, I think part of it is we have gotten so used to now having more instant feedback. Like if you want to learn something, you used to just go to the library, look it up. Now look it up on the computer. Now it's like everything's AI. It runs through that. And I mean, even like starting this new job, AI is automatically built into what we do. But what I'm saying is I think this appeals to people because it's more instant feedback. Like I remember standing in the line and getting weighed in, each week at Weight Watchers. And I prefer much more to wear a sensor and figure out, okay, this is where I'm going wrong.
Right.
But
it's just
plus it feels more like private, you don't feel like you're putting all your junk out there for everybody to see.
And maybe I hear less shameful, right? Like it sounds like that was that you felt shame with doing that.
Yes.
My question is, with AI can be a great tool, but I think that what I worry about is now everybody thinks they're an expert. Like everybody just thinks that they can just go to AI and they know everything, and like research and doctors and nurse practitioners.
Yes.
Don't really count. Are you seeing that at all? Are you worried about that? Like, especially with instant gratification?
Yeah. I guess I would say stay tuned because, starting this new position and like, this is the first job I've really had where AI is really a big part of it. I mean, in my old company, it was just more or less if we were like sending emails in the company or to our customers or, whatnot, you could have AI kind of help you write it to sound more polished and professional. But I think this is kind of scaling it in a whole different version. So I don't know. I'll let you know.
So is there a
Well,
downside to having one of these continuous glucose monitors? Like, is there any bad stuff that could happen with it? Like, what's the
Well,
downside?
For a non-diabetic, right?
I would say, for the non diabetic, it would just be if you're sometimes people have skin reactions to the adhesive tape and they can have allergic reactions.
Okay.
Or if they're not paying attention, if you were trying to wear it, I only wore it for 4 days and then I was just ready to be done with it. But if you wore it the full 15, there's always a chance it can get infected.
Can I ask you why 4 days? Why by after day 4 you were like, no, I don't want this anymore?
Well, for me, it was just because my blood sugars, like what the goal is to try to have them in a 70%, 75% time in range. And that means I'm staying in that. Mine were like 92, 93%. So I was really pleasantly surprised because I thought, okay, I'm doing
you were
better than
actually
I
doing
thought.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then my skin was getting really itchy where it was.
Yeah.
The older I get, the more sensitive skin I have. I have to be careful
Yeah.
with makeup and lotion and
Yeah.
Right.
all of that. So I didn't want to take a chance on it turning into like a big skin itchy rash. I just thought
Yeah.
I know I've found out the data, and I mean I'm sure down the road I'll probably do it again just to see where I'm at.
Yeah.
But
I guess one of the goals, you're not trying to like have these big spikes, right? In our
Right.
blood sugar.
Right.
So what is, like, in your opinion, like a good snack or protein snack for somebody that is not wanting to see these big spikes?
We used to always kind of counsel patients, but it's really good for anybody. Cottage cheese is a good source of protein that won't spike the blood sugar. Peanut butter, like on apples or crackers, that's always good. Nuts and, fruit together. They always say, like, clothe your carbohydrates. Don't eat fast acting
Yes.
carbohydrates by themselves because they break too quickly into sugar and can spike. But if you pair it with protein, and then, cheese and fruit or cheese and crackers, kind of the same thing.
Cheese and crackers.
My dream meal.
Which is my dream meal too. I love it. Like a little brie and a cracker.
I mean,
Good.
please, you're talking my language. I'm
I
all
know.
about it.
I know. But I mean, like, as I get older, I tried making this Italian 3-bean salad because really, like, that's what you should be eating, more of that, because it's high in protein, low in carbs, full of fiber.
High in fiber.
Yes, and
Yeah. Okay.
everybody loved it. So I was like, I should just meal, I'd like try to get psyched up, like I should meal prep and make that and take that in lunch every day, but I haven't done it yet. But
Yeah, I know. Best intentions. I mean, it's
Right.
I do find too, like as we age, it is really hard to manage the fat content while maintaining higher protein and higher fiber. So that's like the sweet spot. So I'm sure this has been researched, but like if you have a meal, I think we talked about this with Kelsey. She was like, if you have a big meal, you should go take a 10-minute walk.
Right.
But really what I'm hearing is if you have any kind of a meal, especially maybe a high carbohydrate meal, and you know your blood sugar is going higher, you should take a walk around the block if you can, or walk around the house and get your body moving. And that helps your body process it. So maybe we won't have as much retained fat. Is that what I'm hearing from you?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm doing it wrong. I mean, my cheese and crackers in front of the TV is not doing it for me. Okay.
So when you talk about your, like, what's the ideal number of your blood sugar? We wouldn't know that without a monitor, right? You don't know that. And what is it for, like, is it different for each age range?
No, it's all the same, for the adult population. And for kids, I mean, now that's like if they have diabetes, we want them to run a little bit higher just because the brain's still developing and you don't want them to go too low. But no, for our age group, like when I wore the CGM and it was just an over-the-counter one, 80 to 140 is the range that kind of shows up. And
That's kind of big.
yeah, I mean, but that's so that if it's 2 hours after the meal, like if we, what we say is like normal pancreatic function and your body's doing everything it's supposed to be, you can be as high as 180, like, an hour after meal. And then by 2 hours, you should come down to 140. So if you're still up high, that's a sign that you've got insulin resistance on board and you need to probably be changing your meal plan a little and getting more exercise after the meals.
Okay.
They're the largest meal of the day,
Yeah.
Okay.
I had gestational diabetes, and I remember them always saying, like, if you're like at lunch, you ate something, you need to check your sugars. If you're high, you need to be exercising, like Linda was saying, like take a walk around the block or whatever. And I was like working in my dental office, and I would walk around and I'd be like, oh, I got to go walk because I'm high.
Mm-hmm.
So is someone like that, am I like at risk later in life to get diabetes?
Well, yes, once you have gestational diabetes, that does increase your risk. And so starting at age 45, you should have your hemoglobin A1C checked, like part of your checkup.
Oh,
that's in the ADA, like the American Diabetes Association guidelines. But yeah, even now they're finding the offspring, because I had gestational diabetes with the first pregnancy. So even your offspring is higher risk for type 2 diabetes.
Really?
And the way it
like
works,
all of your offspring, like it doesn't matter.
Well, if you had it with all of them, but I mean, did you develop it in your other pregnancies, or was it just?
No.
Yeah, that's how I was. Because I didn't take very good care of myself when I was a nursing instructor, and I was carrying some extra weight, and I lost weight in between pregnancies and got more active because I started working at the diabetes center around the dietitians, and so I never developed it the second time, which they say usually once you have it, you're going to have it again and it's going to be worse, and you'll need insulin. Mm-hmm. And so I was happy I beat the odds. And I mean, so far, I haven't developed type 2 yet, so I'm happy about that. But
okay.
I mean, is there anything you think you can do to avoid getting type 2? Like,
really, it's just, eating a healthier diet and maintaining a healthier weight and staying physically active and really kind of monitoring your stress and trying to control your stress.
So it sounds like for some of these, for these over-the-counter pods,
the sensors.
The sensors. It sounds like they could be a good tool. If maybe you talk to your physician, maybe that could be a good tool. But it's not a quick fix to be like, if you put this pod on or this
monitor on,
right, this monitor on, it's not this magic bullet to like fix you and to help you control your weight. It's really just maybe it could help you as a tool to see what you're eating and how you process food. Right. But it's not really meant to be like long term as of yet, right? As research is still developing of how it's working for the non-diabetic.
Yeah, I think that they get used a lot like in the weight loss centers, and then those patients are following up with a dietitian, and they're probably keeping food logs in conjunction with, because you can download, after you wear it for 2 weeks, those 15 days, you can download all of that into a computer, and then they have lots of ways of looking at, well, it looks like every day at 2 p.m, you're spiking high. Let's see what you're eating for lunch, and
right.
I mean, there's lots of that. That's what we do in the diabetes population. We can figure out by looking at patterns what's going on. Whereas when you do Weight Watchers, it's more of a, crapshoot. I mean,
calories in, calories out.
Yeah, you can count your carbs. And
this could be more beneficial, you think, in the long run?
I do, because I think it gives you more, more information and can help you in real time make changes,
Yeah, like hitting you on the head with a hammer.
It is a very interesting concept. I do think, whenever if you can afford it and you are willing to put in the time and the energy, this could be a great tool in your toolbox for, maintaining or becoming a little bit more healthy.
Yes.
So, I mean, it is kind of an amazing thing. Yeah.
I think it's a great thing, but right now I don't think insurance companies are really covering it.
Yeah.
And I looked online and it's $89 to get 2 sensors. So if you want to wear it
Yeah.
continuously, but what I might do is just kind of wear it sporadically and then see what my
Yeah.
body's doing.
Right. Well, Lori, is there anything else you want to share with our listeners? Any other little nuggets that you feel like I want to tell them?
I think the best thing is self-love and hang in there. Like,
Oh, I love that.
yeah, I mean, I think that all these things are treatable and there's light at the end of the tunnel. And so we just kind of have to have a sense of humor about it. I mean,
Yeah, don't be so hard on yourself.
yeah, I mean, I think because I look at my parents, and the phase they're in, but I just think every day is a privilege, and
Yeah.
we just got to stay in it, for the long haul.
Fight the fight. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
We all don't want the same body type, right? Like the idea is to be healthy, not
Yes.
necessarily all the same, right?
Right.
Like, I mean, Marilyn Monroe, like, was at once considered obese, right? Like, but she was gorgeous.
Right. Yeah. In today's world, her size 12 would have been shunned, because
Yeah.
she's not a size 4. But
Yeah.
I think, we've kind of lost sight of just being healthy and being happy and,
Yeah.
Yeah. Good advice, Lori. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We appreciate
Yeah.
you being here.
You're very welcome.
All right, you guys. I thought that was super interesting. And one takeaway I really found interesting is that she used that these monitors are being used a lot with nutritionists, weight loss centers, and just as another tool so people can see immediately what they're putting in their bodies and how their bodies are reacting. I would have never thought that these glucose monitors could be used in that way. So I thought that was kind of fascinating.
I think my big takeaway from her is I think you have to be aware of what you're putting in your body. You definitely need to eat more whole foods. Eating a lot of junk and processed food does cause spikes in your glucose. So you don't want that. And I think I never really thought about it that way. So that was kind of eye-opening for me, is just kind of be aware of what you're eating.
And I think most of all, too, is to love our bodies, right? To give ourselves enough self-love is what she said, and not beat ourselves up so much. Try to do the best that you can.
Right.
If you have the extra resources and you think that this tool could be helpful, you could try it. You could talk to your doctor. If not, you could still journal. She said that was a really good way to still do that too. But mostly she really also talked about self-love.
Yeah.
And we're all on this journey together. Like, All right, y'all, what's for dinner?
Our special guest, Lori, diabetes educator, gave us a good recipe that is good protein, high in fiber, low in fat. And so we kind of looked at it and we were like, we're going to spice this up a little bit. And so I think we're going to add some shredded salad to it. And you can add whatever protein you want. Like my family really likes chicken, so I'm going to put some chicken in there. And I think that would be a great recipe for just dinner, or you could even have it as a salad for lunch. So I'm going to try it this week and take it to work. Yeah, I think it's super healthy. And I actually love garbanzo beans, so I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can make it your own, right? Like we'll put in a recipe in the show notes, but you can substitute whatever you want. You can really make it your own. But the idea is to get high fiber, high protein,
low fat.
Yeah. Yummy.
And
it
try to be
is very
satisfied.
filling, which will make you not hungry. So that's the bonus.
And hopefully not gassy. Like Linda just made a joke. She's like, take your Beano.
Yeah, hopefully not. Especially at work.
Let us know what you guys think. I know this is a journey of trying to just make food interesting, healthy, and filling, right? So it's tricky.
So let us know what you think of it, the Mediterranean 3-bean salad. We want to thank you for listening to our podcast and letting us sisters jump into your day. Please continue to follow us at threelittlefishes.com/show notes And make sure you sign up for all our exclusive content and recipes. Also follow us at 3LF Pod on social media to be part of the daily conversation. I want to wish everyone a happy March. I am wearing green to signify March. So anyway, y'all have a wonderful weekend. Sisters out.
Nobody loves a holiday more than Kathy, man.